In this tutorial, I'm going to redefine the tops of the walls and add door frames and windows to our 3D model. I still have the app and documents set up as they were at the end of the previous tutorial. Now currently it's a bit strange because our floor plan here showing the top of the walls is incomplete where there's doors or where there's going to be windows in the wall. So we actually need to redraw this plan so that it fits with the walls around here. So I'm going to switch the grid back on and I'm going to remove all the objects we have here. Again, using the pen tool in polygon mode. Switch planes, and to quickly build this I'm actually going to switch off the subdivisions here, reduce it back down to 1 so I can quickly snap to the endpoints here, like so. Next we need to draw these rectangles here, which will then cut out of this main shape that I've just drawn. For this it would be better if I switch these subdivisions back on. You can actually keep the grid manager open as you work to help you. And here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shapes, which we're then going to cut out of the bottom shape here. And I've selected all those using the Shift key. And then if I press down the Alt key and select the subtract here, it will create a compound shape. If I then add a fill, you can see the tops of the walls have been built. And I'll hide the grid so you can see it more clearly. I'm going to close the grid manager for the moment so that I can concentrate on doing the doors next. We're going to build the doors and the windows into the walls, so we need to select the walls layer first. And what I'm going to do is, here you can see on the layers tab you've got a small thumbnail preview of the layer, and I'm going to look for all the ones that have the archway in, because I know that one then will have a doorway in it. To keep things neat and tidy, I want to draw the frame of the door underneath the current shape, but I also want to group them together. With this shape selected, I can automatically create a group by using Command G. That creates a group with just a single object within it. What I can then do is draw the door frame in. If I show the grid again, so I know what I'm working to. Change the angle, and here I can draw the door frame in as it would appear. As you can see, it's been created within this group, but on top of the previous shape. So we simply knock it back a step, and now it sits comfortably underneath. And there you can see that it's been created and it looks like a door frame. We can reuse this shape multiple times in our design to quickly build frames for the other doors in this plane. If I select the object, I can use Command C to copy it, and then I can find another doorway which has the same angle doorway in. Again, Command G will make a group. If I select that shape, I can then use Command V to paste in the object. I'll switch to the Move tool using V, and I'll reposition the door frame there. Again, moving it behind, and this is now a complete group which you can move independently should you want to. Let's continue with our design by adding frames to all the doors. Now again, this isn't technically a door, but it is an archway, so it will need a frame there. can move this within the group, and I can move it below the curve and automatically jumps to behind. The next step in the process is to create the windows. Now I'm going to be using this floor plan as a guide on where to put the windows in the design. I'm going to build one in here, as we can see here. So I'm going to switch back the grids to find out where they are, and switch the plane so I'm working in the correct plane to work from. Now it's this window here that I'm going to construct. Again, I'm going to be using the pen tool with polygon mode, and I'm simply going to create a shape which will become my window. If I switch to the move tool using V, I have this new shape selected. I can then use shift and select the shape behind it. I'm going to make a compound by pressing the Alt key down and subtract, and the window is automatically created there in the wall. As we did with the door frames, we can also add a windowsill to this window. Again, select the object and use Command G to create a group. Within this group, you can then draw your shape for the windowsill, move it behind, and there you can see our first window has been built. Again, as we copied the frame of the door, we can actually copy most of this design so we don't have to recreate it everywhere on the plan. So if we expand the layer group, we can select the shape of the window and the two window sills by using the Shift key. We can then copy that by using Command C. Now we know there's a window in this wall here, so we'll look at that next. If we find that wall in our layer panel, we can then paste it in close by. If we zoom in and use our grid on the right plane, we can then position our objects where they are on this plan. That's it, perfect. Now we need to select this, the window shape, and the wall shape. Use the Alt key to create a compound with subtract, and then create a group, Command G, and move the window sills underneath the compound in the group. And there you have a second window. I'm going to repeat this process to create all the other windows which you can see in this plane. Now because this is already part of this compound, if I use Command and drag with it selected, it will create a new object which is also part of the compound, which I can move along. And again, I can also copy these objects using Command and drag to create the window cell for that window. You can also reshape your shape while it's part of a compound to grow the window like so that it matches the design here. And we can continue and put all the windows into our model to create the final piece. And once that's finished, I can add another layer which has an area for the floor, which I can construct using the pen tool. And that's our final design completed. I can hide the guides again by using Command and the quotation marks. And there we've converted a 2D floor plan into a 3D isometric model of our building. And that's it. Thanks for watching.